I think we are live. Welcome back to another live stream. Samachar ki Samiksha. Actually, I had to Google this word and use Google Translate to understand exactly what is the meaning of that word. Samiksha basically means to review something when you're going through something and trying to just make sense of it. So that is exactly what we are going to do, or what we have been doing in these streams. So right now it is almost 7 in the morning. Let's look at the news for the day. Okay. The first, I don't know why, but every time we open this or we start these streams, the first post that we get is usually from the Prime Minister. You can look at a few of my previous streams as well. So here the first one is happy to receive a phone call from my friend Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. Okay, he is the Prime Minister of Mauritius. Now look at the name. Mauritius will continue to work together and achieve shared objectives of peace and stability in the region. Peace and stability, peace and stability. I look forward to welcoming him on the AI Impact Summit next week. Okay. Now, is that so? Karnataka High Court blasts police inspector Sadiq Pasha for harassing. Okay, nothing new here.
And I went to Saudi Arabia. Me needing to get permission from a man to go into the country wasn't red flag enough for me. I didn't realize I was in any real danger till I got off the plane and it was 100 degrees and my hair was covered and I was sweating and my baby hair was falling out from under my hijab, my scarf, and everyone was looking at me like I was about to have a nip slip on my forehead. I'm walking around with forehead this cleavage right here. And I don't have time to explain right now. Just believe women. Are we doing that yet? We believe in women? Just believe me. Whatever, just believe me. All the men were wearing togas with no underwear. It was awesome! Oh my god! I've never seen more dick in my life than when I went to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. And I've been doing all by accident, okay? I thought I was booked on a show.
Like discounting the fact that, yeah, she is a bit of irritating, I think, but let it be. I don't want to comment on that. I didn't take your name, but if you think this tweet is for you, please tell us which political party you wrote content over the last few years with your marketing agency. Your client. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they do your character assassination. But eventually you will win. That is not about her. I think both of them are on the same team, but it's just a misunderstanding. Okay. Oh, just in time saved by that animal. Amin Kaghzi allegedly threatened Bhandacharya when he tried to halt illegal Dargah roof construction funded by Rs 20 lakh MLA grant in Jaipur, Rajasthan. Arrived at the site, accused of explosion of a small feet structure to part of land, causing uproar. Police intervened. Notorious arrested for third time, still no remorse. Love Jihadi Gabbar Khan wore Rudraksh Mala Kalava on wrist, tilak on forehead, deceiving the girls, trap them in love, exploit them, then abandon. Authorities have given a date for the demolition of illegal Suluya Mosque. So one thing you should ask, how are these illegal structures coming up? Like, is the government sleeping all this while? How do they come up overnight? Now, clearly there is some connivance by, uh, people from our side. If I take the liberty to say that, because if there is something illegally going on and it persists throughout the years, so there is one clear inference that we can draw from it is somebody from the inside is helping them. Okay, for whatever reasons, for money, for XYZ, I don't know. But if these illegal structures, because uh, we see it all across our country, it's not like there is just one state that is facing this problem. You'll see, and from whichever state in Bharat you are viewing this video, or in a future date when you see this video, just look around your city as well. You will have encroachments by a specific community. Okay, now I'm not saying that there are no other communities that have engaged in illegal encroachments. Okay, but these cases seem to be more frequent. There is usually a dargah or a mosque on illegal encroachment than a temple or anything else. Scrub activist asked his father about his daughter marrying a Hindu guy. Replied they already got married and he conducted the marriage registration. Yeah, you see this? This is how encroachment begins. Like, you will have people, they will encroachers removed, forests cleared. Was it an elephant? You see, elephants are bringing down illegal structures. Now, we usually don't pay attention to security issues. What's wrong? Alright. When I started writing against reservation 4 years ago, one of my early posts got millions of views. A journalist reached out to me for an article, but later told me he didn't get permission from editor as it was a sensitive topic. From avoiding reservation to openly discussing general category rights in mainstream, we've come a long way. Yeah. Then decide to start praying, and for the first time ever in any Western society, police actually decide to stop them. Look at the drama. I mean, if you have to pray, just go into a corner and play. Why pray in the middle of the street? This is Sydney, Australia. Okay. There is always a protest rally. I think very recently there was a protest rally in JNK, if I'm not wrong. There were some Shia Muslims who were killed in Pakistan. So Shia Muslims from JNK, they started a protest. So clearly that definitely shows some alignment, political alignment. Usually this argument is made that the Muslims of Bharat are somehow different from the Muslims of the entire world. That will not behave in a certain way when we gain certain political majority or some political power. But we have no reason for, we have absolute zero reason for us to trust them, because they behave exactly the way Muslims in other countries behave. Okay, there is no difference. Okay. Now, in this light, if you look at the protests, and this is not the first time, Muslims in JNK have been extremely vocal about whatever that happens in Palestine, whatever that happens to Rohingyas, so on and so forth. Right. So there is clearly some connection, at least a political connection between Muslims all across the world. So when you talk about a minority, you have to talk about it on a global scale. There might be minorities in individual country for that matter, but on a global scale, they are definitely in the majority. Okay. And we all know what happens when you have Muslim people as majority in a country. Okay, you don't need to take my word for it. You don't need a PhD in history for it. Simply just need Google AI and find out about how many countries they have destroyed. So you don't need to take my word for it. when the Congress spokesperson claimed Savarkar was not a freedom fighter but a coward because he had submitted a mercy petition, I asked him a simple question. Okay, let's see.
Was he a freedom fighter or was he a coward?
Veer Savarkar has been named in the history book, but he was more of a coward than we think of Tipu Sultan, who fought the British valiantly. He did not write 6 apology letters to the Britishers. That's the difference between them.
Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, I'm sure you know about Ashfaqullah Khan. I want to ask a simple question. Was he a freedom fighter or was he a coward?
Obviously, he was a freedom fighter. Why should he be a coward?
You said Ashfaqullah Khan was a freedom fighter, not a coward. The fact is he also submitted a mercy petition. Now, according to you, anybody who submits a mercy petition is a coward. So say it on national television that Ashfaqullah Khan was a coward. Say it.
Not a session for a Q&A out here. Veer Savarkar has been named in the...
I think yes, that is something. I don't know why our country has a problem with accepting only certain section of people as heroes of the freedom movement. But certain other people, just because their opinions were slightly different from the mainstream Congress opinion, they have been relegated to history as people who are not supposed to be brought to mainstream. Savarkar is one. It gave and all those people who have established the Jan Sangh, the RSS, the core kitchen cabinet in those times. So clearly, we have not reached that level of maturity as a nation to talk about all the people. And usually when you talk about this to somebody from the left ideology, they'll say, no, there is room for everyone. We're not saying that you should only... Then where was this benevolence when the power at the center had left leanings? Suddenly now that it is convenient for you to say that we should accommodate all points of view. Interestingly, there is a debate on YouTube. Dr. Vikram Sampath, he has written an amazing biography of Subhash Chandra Bose. Not Bose, he has written Savarkar volume 1 and volume 2. That is what Vikram Sampath has written. And on the other side was Mr. Tharoor, Shashi Tharoor, right? And in that, Shashi Tharoor, the moderator of the debate, asks them, and Vikram Sampath says that, both of them belong to the southern part. Both of them are southerners, okay? So, largely the history that we learn in our schools is Delhi-centric, that is northern-centric. Very little narratives or very little information you find about the southern kingdoms. To which Shashi Tharoor agrees, and he says that he's always been supporting that the history should be more inclusive. So I would say, Shashi Tharoor, your party was at the center for at least I would like to think 5 decades. Okay, let's accept the conservative estimate that they were at the center for 5 decades. So in those 5 decades, you have never accommodated the other point of view. Now that it is convenient for you to grab eyeballs and to grab traction on social media from young population, it is very convenient for you to say that you have always been advocating all-inclusive, pluralist history. Whereas in fact and in reality, you guys are not okay with it. Now at least we're discussing Savarkar. Years ago, I remember when I was a kid, that is I'm a millennial in the 1990s, I hardly heard the name Savarkar. Okay, I think it's only after I got on Twitter and during my UPSC preparations because during the lunch breaks when I was preparing for it, during the lunch break, since everybody was reading extensively on a lot of different subjects like economy, polity, history and all that. So we would sit and discuss, and in those discussions I learned a lot about Savarkar and all the other people. That's how I got aware about a person called Savarkar, and then I read both the volumes of Vikram Sampath, and so now I would like to say I am decently informed about who exactly was Savarkar, what did he do. Yes, there are some episodes from his life that are, that should not make Savarkar as a role model. Okay, but there are multiple other episodes from his life that clearly teach you a value or two, especially nationalism, especially the national spirit, so on and so forth. So we have to stop just selectively cherry picking our leaders and forget Savarkar. Let's talk about Mohandas Gandhi. There are aspects of his life that have been erased from public memory. We don't talk about it anymore. Okay, so yeah. Yes, that's all. I have supported your sterling efforts for such a long time, have shared your work whenever possible because you have always debated with calm reason, supported evidence. This post, however, is an hominem attack, usually an admission of failure, most uncharacteristic of your past published content. Is it the same? PIL in Supreme Court, okay, become a minority. Still cited in PI file before. Border villages. Okay, now if this information is factually backed, would that evoke, what sort of emotion would that evoke within you? Okay, that is something that I want to know. That whenever you live in a geography where Muslims are in a majority, does that inspire confidence within you, or does that inspire, reluctance, fear, or whatever negative emotion that comes up at that time? Okay, so because historically we all know what Islam is capable of, what Muslims are capable of once they are in the majority. Now, coming back to that argument that is usually put forward, you'll see Owaisi, you'll see a lot of Muslim leaders in Bharat, they will make this argument that no, but the Muslims of Bharat are different, we are not like the other Muslims of the other country. What specific evidence can you present, or what specific reason you can give us to believe that the Muslims of Bharat are different? Because your politics is certainly no different. Okay, you've made those 15-minute remarks left, right, and centers. Your Maulvis, your clerics, they preach a lot of hatred online. You never come out in the open to, speak against the horrible and terrible deeds that are done in the name of your religion. Quite the opposite, you come out in the open and defend them. Okay, so it's really nonsensical and foolish on our part to think that they'll behave differently from the other Muslims of the other countries. These are the quants you're competing against in China. Okay, let's see. Okay. मीलिए इस हीरो होंडा कंपनी की से जो फुट फुट कर रो रही है, नहीं रोई जब कमलेश को कलम किया गया है। अब AI जनरेटेड वीडियो देख बुक का फाड़ रो रही है। आप लोगों को पता है, these are the people within us. Yeah. Local Scot Muslim man eloping with a 12-year-old Hindu girl. He was jailed, but his brother and friends attacked her and threatened, "We'll over patrol and burn your home and family alive." This Gen Z and Gen Alpha of boomer aunties have never traveled in train, otherwise they would have been so unaware about the concept of overnight train journey. Kendall Jenner could only stare as her sister shares wonderful moment with her man. Maybe if she was still with Bad Bunny, she would also have someone to be with at the Super Bowl. Modi dominance so quoted that the commies are losing their shit. Meg nerd. Love how SpaceX aimed for Mars 20 years ago and now it has to delay it by 5-7 years because achievable in the near term. What an absolute insane timeline we're living in. The future is going to be ridiculous. The priority shift is because I'm worried that a natural or man-made catastrophe stops the resupply ships coming from Earth, causing the colony to die out. We can make the moon city self-growing in less than 10 years, but Mars will take 20 plus years to 26-month iteration. Crazy. Oh man, this woman is... Just live out your life, man. Stop this. Biggest cowards in Bollywood are at the feet of RSS. Why? Because they are morally dead and don't want to disturb power. An organization that never believed, incites violence and devalues women is being worshipped by the most popular. I think she is oblivious. Her perception of our country is totally different. I think she is living in those times where Muslims are persecuted day in and day out. Muslims have to pay reverse jizya to us. And that is how these guys are living. That is her perception. Okay. I was rereading my old higher level notes on Advaita today, and I realized, why is it the only school of philosophy which will not be falsified if AGI becomes a real thing? I will write a blog soon on this. Okay. Yep. Advaita Vedanta. Advait. And minions visited. Police stopped possession of a woman named for over 30 minutes, forcing someone to wait on the road under the sun with the body, just to clear up irrigation minister. That's disgraceful, but fine. Versus government to legalize crypto says discouraging them have led to 180 startups to leave foreign countries. Okay. Absolutely deranged take. Basant is a Sanskrit Prakrit word. Okay. One of the 6 Ritus. Basant Ritu is spring season, way before the coming of the Turks. Basant was celebrated with ritual baths, wearing yellow, remembering blah 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 blah. On this day later, Chishti's Bhakti poet I. Basant. The sheer audacity to suggest it died in the country that gave birth to it and nurtured it in bazillion ways. The many ways in which Basant was and still is celebrated. I still don't believe this woman, Ruchika Sharma. No. They funded Bin Qasim when he invaded Sindh. They funded Khilji when he invaded Devgiri. They funded Mughals to become slave traders and ijaradars. They funded British and became dalals. They have done subsidiary alliance with the USA. Who are they? Seriously, who are they? That's first businessman to successfully milk the fact that love being listened to and being called victims of larger colonial conspiracy. Yes, there was a time, I would certainly agree to a certain extent, but that time has gone. Now we don't like being called the victims of colonial conspiracy. I think, although we have not reached national maturity to talk about certain issues, but we are definitely past that threshold of constantly saying that we have been victims of Islamic invaders, then the British, and so on and so forth. I think largely a lot of people have moved past that fact, and you can infer that from the fact that people definitely were talking about it earlier, though they don't talk about it anymore. And I think that because they have accepted that yes, things happened, things were not in our control. Okay, we were not united as a nation, we were not united as a community, fine, but let's correct those mistakes for the future generations. All right, so we have reached that point where people, like, I think in a way they have forgiven themselves, but the way forward is definitely a long road ahead, but it has definitely begun. Zakish, science teacher allegedly sexually abused. All right, I think that's it. That's it for this stream. You can check out my other content on Instagram. You can read my articles on LinkedIn. I've written some amazing articles over there. You can check out my other videos on YouTube about English learning, philosophy, gaming, vlogging, so on and so forth. Alright, just take a look at the playlist section on my YouTube channel and enjoy. Thank you for watching.